Alright, welcome back to, believe it or not, the Rebirth of Dave. It's time for Dave, boys. I can't believe it's coming back. I bet a lot of you people can't believe it's coming back. Oh, I can believe it's coming back. I've never really put this series off. Like, I've never ended it, per se. It's just been on a long hiatus for multiple reasons. The first reason it went on hiatus, the first time, I think that was before I started the 4-brand save with my friends. It went on a hiatus there because I was burnt out on the series itself. So, you know, then 2 months later, the 4-brand save starts going. I start to upload a few episodes of Dave. And then the 4-brand save ends and the new era save starts. And then Dave just goes on a complete hiatus. It's gone. It fell off the face of the earth, however you want to say it. So yeah, it's been gone for about 5 months now, and now it's back. So for those of you that don't remember where we left off, we're gonna do a quick rundown of the roster and just see where everyone's at. We're week 1 of June, so 5 months into the save. And let's just go through the whole roster. So we have Acid. He is unimportant because the fans hate him, and I've just been burying him, sadly. Akima Brave is one of our major stars. He's got about 50 pop. I'd say an average of 50 pop everywhere. Bradford Peveril is one of the guys I've been trying to push recently. I didn't sign him until not that long ago. No, he's been here from the start. I just haven't been pushing him. Was he injured when the save starts? Was that it? Or was that 2016? I can't remember. I don't know why. Maybe it's just been a slow push. Maybe it's because he's been at yeah, maybe it's because now he's starting to gain popularity. Bust-a-Cap, Benjamin's favorite wrestler in the C-verse, I think. I don't know. He hasn't been really pushed, per se, but he's on a hot streak as of late. Cali Slick is one member of the Bible Bashers. He is one of the lackeys for Pablo Rodriguez. He is a recognizable. Here's his pop over time. Pretty good. Chris Caulfield is, of course, the backbone of the roster. He's our biggest babyface right now. He's small gains of pop, small gains. Dean McWade, his brother, has retired from in-ring competition, and now he's running it solo. I don't know if I've been pushing him or... I guess pushing him. I guess that's a push. Doug Peak, he's here. He hasn't really changed much. Well, he fucking died in March of 2020. I don't remember what I buried him for. Ernest Youngman, who we signed to replace Dallas McWade. He is the hitman for Pablo Rodriguez, so he is technically a member of the Bible Bashers. We just hired him, so his popularity isn't going to be any different at all. Flex Garcia, my favorite wrestler on the roster. Oh, I thought I had title pictures for him. What the heck? Oh, I do. Okay. So here's Flex's picture. Of course, one half of Flex and Pex, who are our Lords of the Ring champions. Frankie Perez is kind of our made guy. He's kind of going to be our jungle boy, per se. The guy that we kind of pushed, even though he's 35, so we're going to have to find a new fucking jungle boy. Frantic Ali is our biggest jobber we have right now. Yeah. There you go. He's unimportant. Gravedigger, one half of Dead Men Walking. Not as much of a job. I know Frantic Ali has a lot more pop than some of these guys, but he doesn't win at all. Like, at all. Gravedigger, one half of Dead Man Walking, a member of the Crown, which is King Boone's stable. Grease Hog, one half of the Dirty White Boys, who are just a team in Dave. Java, who had, I don't remember who turned heel on who. I think Tribal was supposed to turn heel on Java, but the fans hated Java, and I just pretended like they didn't, and then I gave up, and now he's the bad guy. I don't know, but him and Acid formed a alliance of sorts, and that's where they are right now. Excuse me, wow. King Boone, he is here. he has been buried. Something happened in March or April of 2020, and he had a feud with Doug Peak that ended with him getting amnesia after a bit where he dressed up as a king, and that's why he's King Boone. He thinks he's a king. He thinks he is a king. Knuckles is another lackey of the Bible Bashers. He split up from Shady K for no reason because I had too many tag teams. Latino Fear is one half of the Brown Pride team. They aren't doing much right now. Same thing for the Dirty White Boys. Are kind of like our exact mid-card. Like, they're 50-50 right now. I just don't have much to do with them. Marshall Dillon, we just signed from SWF. He left the SWF. We signed him to Dave. He is aligned with Tennessee William, and he just made his debut on the last episode, I believe. I believe the last episode was Total Disruption. No, it was not. He made his debut on Total Disruption. I don't believe he's had a match in Dave yet. Okay, he's had 2 matches in Dave. So, fuck, it's been a while, boys. Mexican, Brown Pride, same thing. Mobstar, Crown, Dead Men Walking. Pablo right now is the biggest guy in the roster. He is the most over. He is giving me the best ratings other than Flex. Flex is the only person beating him in promos. Pablo is a saint. He is the leader of the Bible Bashers. It's a cult, which is kind of ironic, since he's a fucking priest. Oh, right, I forgot. Pablo has a title picture. And so does Pex. Pex is kind of like the Jannetty for Flex. Flex is just so much more over and is much better in the promos, and I don't think... Yeah, Handsome Stranger is a better wrestler, but Flex is just doing so well in the promos that he's just better. Saeed Ali was just murdered by Ernest Youngman, and I don't think I've ever explained this. First off, Ernest Youngman murdered him, and we're never going to see Saeed Ali again, and that is because he signed an exclusive written deal with TCW, so that was my form of writing him off. Saeed Ali lost a match to Top Dollar, where if Top Dollar won, King Boone would get a World Championship match, and as a result, Pablo Rodriguez made Ernest Youngman murder Saeed Ali. Shady K... There's that. Shady K is the television champion. Yep. That's all that's really going for him right now. Tennessee William is kind of like our... I guess he's also our... He's like the MJF to Frankie Perez's Jungle Boy. They haven't feuded yet, but they're both guys that were relatively unknowns before Dave that we're really strapping the rocket to as of late. I know William isn't that much more over than Bradford Peveril, but William is giving me such good ratings, and he's only a recognizable, so, there we go. Toma, he's one of our jobbers right now. I was gonna have him and Akima Brave do a small reunion, but Akima Brave is just... He can't... Toma would kind of be holding him down, honestly. Top Dollar, the lackey of the Crown... I don't even remember how this fucking stable started, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how these guys got into these fucking positions they're in. And then finally, Tribal Warrior, who's a major star. So, he's just kind of loved by the fans. I'm not even sure why. So, there's Tribal Warrior. Let's do the... Is there a way I can do out of ring? Yeah, I don't want to go through all the managers and shit. So, we have Craig Prince, who I thought I had an alt for. If I can type... Can never fucking type. Nope, alright, he's just naked then. Craig Prince is a road agent. Dallas McWade, I've made a road agent. Francis Long is a referee. JD Morgan's a road agent. Lee Bambino and MC Motormouth are our color and announcer. Matthew White's a referee. I am Phil. He's a color, even though he's not good at color. And then Suzanne Brazel is the queen of the Crown. She's basically the mastermind since King Boone's a fucking idiot. That's the whole bit there. There's that. The storylines we're running. There's Jumping the Shark, which is Caulfield versus Peak. Must See TV, which is Bradford vs. Shady. Old is the New, which is Akima Brave and Frankie Perez versus Flex and Pex. Pity Party, which is Acid and Java. This one just started with Acid and Java aligning themselves together, so we'll have to see where that goes. The King is Here is just the Crown versus the Bible Bashers. And the new face of Extreme is the Dallas Stars versus Tribal Warrior. Here are our teams. There you go. That's them. Our titles, in case you want to see how the Prestige is going. That went up by 2. The Nemesis is just... There you go. The TV title went up by 1. And then the World title went up by 2. So I think that's all we need to discuss before we hop into our episodes. Oh, wait, no, I did write down some notes. First thing, you'll notice that Matthew White and Suzanne Brazel are both mad. And that's because I didn't want to give them a pay rise. So, you know, you're a fucking ref and a manager. This is Dave, bro. Only the wrestlers make money. All right, I wrote a few notes down. The first one is a pre-booking. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I said this on the last episode, but we have one match announced for this Danger Zone TV, and it is Bradford Peveril and Doug Peak versus Shady K and Chris Caulfield. This is our only match announced right now. So, there you go. I have pre-booking mandatory turned off. Oh, I guess I have event pre-booking turned on. That's not supposed to be on. I'm going to turn that on. Just this pay-per-view, the Extreme Doubleheader, I can't have that on because I want to do a thing where things that happen on night 1 are going to set up a lot of the matches on night 2. And I can't exactly pre-book them. So, you know, pre-booking's off. The second note I have is... so I'm just saying a heads up to continuity might be thrown out the window a few times during this episode because I haven't even touched the booking since the last episode. So if there are a few things where it's like, are you sure that happened? Just whatever. All right, I wouldn't know. And then the last thing I did was Danger Zone TV has been 1.5 hour long, the entire save. And I am just blowing through these matchups. Like, I am just running the same matches every week in and week out. So I have just changed Danger Zone TV to 1 hour. And then all the pay-per-views, I believe, are supposed to be 2 hours. So, except for the annual Wrestle Rave, which is 2.5. Alright. I think we're good. I think that's everything I need to go over. Leave in the comments if there's anything else you want to see here. So, and then I'll show it in the next episode. So let's get into the... Oh, God, I didn't even... Okay, the fucking title of this episode is probably something like the new format begins or some bullshit. And that's just talking about the new format these episodes are going to be in. Basically, I'll pull this up because it'll be easier to see here. The build to each pay-per-view is basically going to be its own episode, with a few exceptions around the Extreme Doubleheader. So basically, one episode will be the hardcore, will be like fucking... Okay, let me go to goddamn... I'll go to the Wrestle Rave, so that's easier. So the episode before the Wrestle Rave will be 4 shows of September, and then we will have the pay-per-view on its own episode. The only reason it's going to get weird around the Extreme Doubleheader is because from Total Disruption to night 1, it's 6 weeks of build, and I don't think I can squeeze 6 weeks of build into a episode under 1 hour long, and I don't want these episodes to be 1 hour long. So I'll probably split up the build for the Extreme Doubleheader into 2 episodes, and then, yeah, and then... I hope I'm explaining this decently enough. Basically, the build to each pay-per-view will be its own episode, and then the pay-per-views itself will be their own episode. So, there we go. If that's confusing, tell me in the comments. I'll try to explain it there. But now, let's get into the first episode of Danger Zone TV in June 2020. Alright? We're here for Danger Zone TV, the first episode. Again, only thing pre-booked here is the tag match between Bradford and Doug versus Shady and Chris. As I was putting the show together, I realized that there are only tag matches on the main card. I do have one pre-show match, but I didn't even fucking notice that there was only there was only tag matches on the fucking main card. So there we go. Another thing I didn't mention for some reason was that I have written out promos. Not for every single segment, but on each show there is at least a few promos that I've written out. And we'll see how this goes. So let's start the show, baby. So on the pre-show, we have Charlie Corner, who I hired local worker to just lose to Ernest Youngman. So basically, if you're booking anti-establishment hardcore, on each show, you need to have a steal the show, a hardcore or wild brawl, and then a car crash or mayhem. So steal the show is just terrible. In my opinion, it always screws me over. Of course, right now the garbage guy is going to come, so that's just perfect. So basically, what I'm going to do on each of these episodes is we're just going to have the steal the show match on the pre-show. Yep, there's the garbage guy. Alright, let's get into the actual show. So yeah, Ernest Youngman clears the house. He's getting 43s because Ernest Youngman's a god. Alright, so we open the show. We open this episode of Danger Zone TV with none other than our favorite stable, the Bible Bashers. However, Saeed Ali is notably absent from the Bashers, and after pacing a little bit in the ring, Pablo finally begins to cut his promo. Pablo, I'm sure you all can tell, there is a certain individual who is not accompanying us tonight. Mr. Saeed Ali. Mr. Saeed Ali decided last week would be the perfect time to completely shit the fucking bed and grant Madman Boone a meaningless title match after losing to Top Dollar. Do you know how many people here in Dave, other than Saeed Ali, have lost to Top Dollar since the reformation of this company? Don't worry. If you all don't know, I have a list right here in my hand. Pablo raises up his clenched fist where he's allegedly holding this list, and then Pablo swiftly turns this fist into a middle finger. Pablo, that's right, fucking nobody else. Saeed Ali lost to the biggest loser in the whole fucking company, and now this absolute clown, Madman Boone, will receive a match for my championship. I had no other choice but to have Youngman back here, he points to Ernest Youngman, Youngman back here, cut that weak link out of the group. Now, as long as I stand before you, we will never see Saeed Judas Ali in Dave. Ever again. Now, Mr. Boone, I hope you're ready, because I will never defend my championship against someone like you on a pay-per-view. So we are going to get this match over with next week. Pablo angrily throws down his microphone and begins to walk away. Ernest Youngman then has to signal to Cali Slick and Knuckles to walk out before they follow suit. And now it's time for the opening match where we see Flex and Pex defeat Brown Pride. Like always, Flex and Pex, or I mean not Flex and Pex, like always Flex Garcia was head and shoulders above everyone else. So, there you go. Flex got that 66. Good shit. And then after the match, Flex and Pex begin to do their celebratory pose down after their victory when Akima Brave and Frankie Perez enter on stage. Perez has a microphone and the two stay on top of the ramp during this promo. Frankie, you know guys, life's really funny sometimes. Everyone always says something like, you never know where the wind will take you. And until recently, I honestly never felt that that statement was very accurate. But as of this moment, Akima and I completely resonate with that phrase. Because only a few weeks ago, we had zero intentions of really teaming up and doing a run as a tag team, chasing gold together. But since you two meatheads wanted to run around and be complete assholes to us, we have officially decided to form a team and enter the tag team division here in Dave. The fans pop, and Frankie Perez does a quick pause to let the Dave faithful finish their pop, I guess. Frankie continues, "It seems like you two are the only two people in this building who don't understand where I'm going with this. So let me put it plain and simple for you. Me and Akima Brave are going to take those Lords of the Ring championships from you. So hold on tight, boys, because it'll be the last time that you can hold them." Alright, that promo went off the rails at the end, mainly because I did a typo and it fucked me up, and my brain just kept going, so... There we go, 79 because, yeah. 44 for the next match because, believe it or not, our very vocal crowd were not too thrilled with seeing Java. So, there's that. They're never going to be happy with Java. But Java defeats Lead Belly in 9 minutes and 7 seconds with the greetings from the island. Acid, who is apparently his new bestie, was out at ringside with him. And once the match is over, the two run in and just kick the shit out of Lead Belly for absolutely no reason. They beat him up until Greasehog runs in and runs them off. That's the whole segment. No, it wasn't a promo. We then have a short little segment of King Boone doing a training montage. It's just a total comedy spot. King Boone is like trying to bench the bar and he can't. Top Dollar is doing Top Dollar things. Gravedigging Mobstar, I don't know, there as well. It's just a training montage. I don't know what else to say. So that got a 46. Our next promo, the Dallas Stars, got a 61. The training montage slowly fades into an image of Tennessee William and Marshall Dillon standing in the locker room. Okay, so in the 4 episodes of Dave on this episode, you're going to hear me say, oh, there's a promo in the locker room. And basically what I'm referring to is when ECW would do these same style of promos where it's just them filming themselves in the locker room. So anytime I say that, just think of them in that scenario. So both men look extremely pissed about something, and then William decides to speak up. William, blasphemy. Absolute fucking blasphemy has occurred here on Danger Zone TV tonight. 2 men who were not a team before tonight have announced that they will be fighting for the tag titles. There must have been a memo I missed, because last time here in Dave, god damn it, fucking notification threw me off, shit. Where was I? There must have been a memo because I missed, fuck. I'm reading this off my phone, by the way, that's where the notification was. There must have been a memo I missed because the last time I checked, nobody here in Dave should get undeserved title matches. Now, I know that I'm right about that because I just had a little chat with Phil himself, and he agrees with me. Now, next week, we will have a number 1 contenders match between the Dallas Stars and the team of Frankie Perez and Akima Brave. Whoever wins that match faces Flex and Pex on night 1 of the Extreme Doubleheader. Now, boys, let me make one thing clear. Tennessee William always has something up his sleeve. Tennessee William then cackles at his own joke before the video fades to black. Our main event of the evening, 60 rated match, Chris Caulfield. Bradford Peville got a 54. Okay, that's surprising. Oh my god, what the fuck was that noise? That just came out of my nose. Holy shit. Bradford got a 54. I am so used to, in my hiatus, all I've been doing is just starting new saves with fucking sports end companies and, abandoning them after a week. So I'm just so used to guys who are, as skilled as Bradford and Ernest Youngman not getting the ratings they're supposed to because all that matters in sports end companies is pop. So in About the Head, good wrestling, good heat, and decent wrestling. Bad, god damn it. Bradford Peverill and Doug Peak upset Shady K and Chris Caulfield. The match goes 15 minutes and 11 seconds. Bradford Peverill pins Chris Caulfield. It was with a handful of tights, but regardless, Bradford pins Chris Caulfield. He was supposed to pin Shady K, but I fucked that up. It doesn't really matter. big surprise here tonight. So after that grueling match, Brad decides to go to the ringside area and aggressively takes the microphone away from the ring announcer and snatches the television title away from the timekeeper's area. Peveril half limps back into the ring and then squats over Shady K, who is still seething in pain from the match, and Shady's still on the ground. Out of breath, and with a bitter look on his face, Bradford puts the mic to his mouth and says, "I hope I finally gotten your attention, Shady, because the TV title will be mine very soon." Peveril shoves the belt onto Shady K and then throws the microphone right at Caulfield's head before walking away. I forgot to explain this, but the whole feud of Bradford, Peveril, and Shady K was just Bradford has been calling out Shady K K's been ignoring him, and then last week, Bradford jumped Shady and Caulfield with Doug Peak. And he gets a 62 rated on this, and that is how we end this episode of Danger Zone TV. 68! Let's go. So the goal right now, the next goal for Danger Zone TV, or Dave, I mean, not the fucking show. The next goal for Dave is to hit medium-sized, and basically all I have to do is just get up to a 59 pop in most regions of America, and all I need to do right now is just get shows that are better rated than 60. The only way to up your pop is to get show ratings that are better than what your size is, and I think right now our size is at 50. So yeah, just basically any show that gets a 60 rated or above, that's a win. That is a win for the mission of getting Dave to... Holy shit, Mark Misery? Mark Misery? Isn't... Ah, damn it, I love Mark Misery. Oh, he's so good. What else is going on? Did he sign with TCW too? Oh, he did. Okay. I know Island Boy Apollo left for TCW. I'm just kind of glad that TCW didn't take any of the bigger names. Like, I know they took Saeed Ali, but I got really scared they were going to try to take Flex. So, ooh. Alright. So, there's that. I always did something at the end of these Dave episodes. I can't remember. I think I just looked at the show history and saw where it... I don't know. So yeah, I want to get the company to medium-sized, mainly so I can start signing people to exclusive written deals. And then, once we hit medium-sized, then we can leave our shitty broadcaster that we have. We can leave this broadcaster because a lot of broadcasters only want medium-sized companies. So once we get one of those, then the popularity is really going to start coming in. So there we are. That was episode 1. And now we're going to do a quick cut. Hopefully the garbage man will fucking leave. We're going to do a quick cut to episode 2. Alright, here we are. Episode 3 of 4 in the new format. I know it seems like things are kind of going a little quick. At least it does to me. Well, I'm going to be honest, guys. I'd rather have things feel a little faster than usual than have each single episode be its own series. I mean, its own series? Jesus Christ. Every single episode of Danger Zone TV be its own episode. I just feel like I don't want the series to take forever to go through. I kind of want to get through a lot in a little. So, yeah, there we go. This top match is not on tonight. That is on next week's show. Top Dollar versus Cali Slick is the only one pre-booked for the night. So there we go. Yeah, let's start this episode. We have on the pre-show, just to make sure. Yep. All right, yep. On the pre-show, we have Latino Fear versus Toma. This is our Steal the Show match. This is to give Toma a little bit more credibility and a little bit more momentum on his side. And it's on the pre-show. So there we go. We open the show with Tennessee William and Tribal Warrior. I don't know why. Let me just fucking start. Okay, we open this episode of Danger Zone TV with none other than the Dallas Stars. They're backstage cutting this promo, so it's another one of the ECW style promos. Tennessee Williams is in front of Marshall, and Marshall is slightly behind him to the right. Tennessee looks extremely frustrated about something, more so than he did last week, and everyone's going to assume that it is because of the fact that he and Marshall Dillon lost the number one contenders match to the Defenders, thanks to the efforts of Tribal Warrior. Williams begins to speak. Tribal, you've done messed up, boy. After your antics in costing us a match for the Lord of the Ring Championships, not only have you pissed me off, but this time you have pissed Marshall Dillon over here off. I don't know why you're still mad, Tribal. It's because even though you've defeated me at Total Disruption last month, I still got the last laugh when Marshall Dillon debuted to take you out. I know that it's killing you inside that I had the last laugh that night, and all you want to do is stand tall over me. Now, it might be all the built-up anger in me from last week that's got me making irrational decisions, but goddamn am I gonna give you that match. On night 2 of the Extreme Doubleheader, it will be Tribal Warrior versus Tennessee Williams. And Marshall Dillon will not be allowed anywhere near that building tonight. If Marshall shows up to the arena that night, my contract and his contract with Dave will be terminated. There you go. There you go, Tribal. You got your match on one condition. On night 1 of the Extreme Doubleheader, you will go one-on-one with the Southern Beast himself. And if you lose, Tribal Warrior, our rematch is off. From the bottom of my heart, son, I wish you the best of luck. Because Marshall here is angrier than he's ever been before in his life. So take notes next week, Tribal, because you're going to see Dillon on full display against Frantic Ali on Danger Zone TV. You and Frantic Ali might want to start saving for those impending hospital bills. Tennessee Williams then once again cackles at his own joke before ending the promo. And now we have another match to pre-book. One-on-one hardcore. Frantic Ali versus Marshall Dillon. There we go. And then we have 2 matches to pre-book. So there we go. We have on night 1, Marshall Dillon versus Tribal Warrior. If Tribal Warrior wins, then he will face Tennessee Williams on night 2. Tennessee said the match is on as of right now, so I'm just going to take that as an I can pre-book it. If Tribal Warrior loses, then I'll delete the pre-booking. How about that? There we go. Pre-bookings galore. And I got a 64. Holy shit. Nice. Hey. All right. Our opening match, we have Bradford Peverill versus Hammer Hadley. This was supposed to be Bradford versus Toma, but guess who else Bradford had bad chemistry wrestling? Toma. There we go. Bradford beat Hammer Hadley in 9:36. And then another 64. Let's fucking go. Much like last week, Brad heads to the ring to the announcer, heads to the ring announcer to steal his microphone. Peverill gets back into the ring and is about to start speaking, but before he begins, Hadley is starting to get on his feet again. Brad throws the mic down in rage before holding his hands up to size up Hammer Hadley for the Dream Left Hook. I think I've said this once or twice on Dave before, but I imagine the way that Bradford does the Dream Left Hook is like he does like a wake-up taunt, like from the 2K games, where he just sizes them up with his hands like in the picture before bam. So he sizes up Hammer Hadley for the Dream Left Hook. Peverill throws the hook with such velocity that you see this was supposed to be Toma, that Hadley is launched out of the ring and his body crashes into the ground. Peverill shakes his left hand vigorously or ferociously because the punch was so goddamn hard that his knuckles are starting to turn red. And then Brad turns to the hard cam and yells, "Did you see that, Shady? That'll be you next week," before storming off. So I'm going to be signing a lot of local guys for the next few months to work these shows. And any guys that impress me, I'm going to write down on a list. And once we hit medium size, I'm going to sign a few more guys to give to just fill out the roster a little more, because I think our minimum workers are going to go up. So there we go. That got a 64. Nice. We then have a angle backstage where the team of Java and Acid are brawling with the Dirty White Boys. And then for whatever reason, and it's not explained, but Latino Fear and Mexican break it up. They break up the fighting, and the two teams just kind of walk backwards in different directions while eyeing each other down. We then have a 69 rated promo by Chris Caulfield. I did not write anything down for this one. He did a masterful job improvising interactions with the crowd. This is a in-ring promo, so this was really just to test out whether or not Chris Caulfield can go off script, because he doesn't have 70s in promos, but he can, so that was good. The message of this was, I respect you, Doug. I saw what you did in Warrior Engine. You're one bad motherfucker, but I'm going to kick your ass. 69. That was nice. Jesus Christ. There we go. Two crazy matches in quick succession doesn't really work. They need staggering. Alright. I'll note that for next time. 24 rated match for Top Dollar and Kali Slick. Oh, and they didn't click. Wow, look at that. Fucking... Alright. But in the end, after 8 minutes and 20 seconds, Kali Slick defeats Top Dollar with the Slick back. And it's looking more and more like Top Dollar was a win. Last week was a fluke. And after noticing this, Pablo gets even angrier that he's getting a title match off of a fluke. So what he does is, after the match between Kali Slick and Top Dollar, Pablo enters the ring and signals Kali Slick and Knuckles to go outside of the ring. Slick and Knuckles begin to push all members, excluding Suzanne Brazel, up the ramp, preventing them from getting into the ring and checking in on their friend Top Dollar. Pablo gets a microphone, and Ernest Youngman enters the ring with a unfazed look on his face. Pablo: that win wasn't a fluke, right, Boone? Top Dollar's gonna show me for slandering his name, right, Boone? Enough of your bullshit, Boone. I'm sick of you, and I'm sick of your stupid group, and most importantly, I am sick of this white chocolate wannabe rapper Top Dollar. Pablo turns his attention to Top Dollar and gets on one knee to talk to him while he's still on the ground. He gets all up in his face and he says, "You've made a grave mistake, Petey. You should have never picked a fight with me and aligned yourself with a stain in the wrestling industry. When you're in the hospital, remember you did this to yourself. Youngman, take him out." Ernest Youngman then immediately picks up Top Dollar by his goatee, hands him off to Pablo, who's holding in place while he's standing. Ernest sprints into one end of the ropes, sprints into the other, sprints into the one end of the rope, and then smashes Top Dollar with his finisher, the hit, which I imagine is just a very vicious spear. Dead Men Walking do anything and everything in their power to get past Knuckles and Shady K, but their efforts are to no avail. Pablo then turns his attention to Boone, Mobstar, and Gravedigger, taunting them as Youngman picks up Top Dollar once again. Youngman's indifferent expression on his face turns into a look of intense rage before he locks in a stiff and savage-looking choke grip. The choke grip is Ernest Youngman's Uber finisher. I can't remember if I added that or if that was a thing in the game, but regardless, I just imagine that it's Roman Reigns' sleeper that he's been using. It's the same one as that. So he locks that in, and as each second passes, the tighter and stiffer the choke grip gets. And after about 17 seconds in the hold, after 17 seconds of the hold being locked in, a very loud popping noise is heard from the ring, and Top Dollar's body goes completely limp. Youngman then releases the hold, and his expression goes back to expressionless. He then picks up his sunglasses that fell off during the submission, and he leaves through the crowd. Pablo yells at Kali Slick and Knuckles to retreat, and the remaining Bible Bashers run out of the ring and exit the same way Youngman did. The crowd rush into the ring and rush Top Dollar to the back. Top Dollar was just murdered. 73. 71 for Tribal Warrior accepting the challenge. I forgot that this was where I was supposed to do the pre-booking, but it doesn't really matter. It's just a quick promo where Tribal Warrior's like, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take my chances. We then get an 82 rated segment. So yeah, Flex Garcia back to his old ways of being a god on the promo. And it's Flex and Pex. They go into Phil's office. They beg Phil. They're like, dude, Akima Brave and Frankie Perez cheated. Why do we have to defend their title against them? Phil doesn't even explain the hypocrisy that is coming out of Flex Garcia and Pex Jimenez's mouths. He just looks at them, and he's like, get the fuck out of my office. Jesus. Speaking of, I don't think... God, why do I keep hitting that? I don't think I pre-booked that. No, I didn't. But that is the other match. That match is actually the first one that got pre-booked. We have Flex and Pex versus the Defenders. I thought I pre-booked this. I did. I'm so stupid. Alright, our main event of the evening. Shit. Uh-oh. I literally said before I started booking this show, like, dude, how have I not gotten, like, any injuries in this save yet? There we go. There's one. Chris Caulfield sustained a strained bicep. This match between Dean McWade and Chris Caulfield goes 15 minutes and 1 second. And much like what I said about Bust a Calf's match earlier against... shit, who was it? It wasn't earlier this night, was it? Bradford. No, was it Bradford? Whatever. The match where I said Bust a Calf... Doug Peak. It was last week against Doug Peak. Much like what I said about Bust a Calf in his match against Doug Peak, Dean McWade absolutely shows everybody in the building that he is much better than anyone thought. He puts up an incredible fight against Chris Caulfield. He breaks his bicep, or strains his bicep. But in the end, he does lose. In reality, Dean McWade put up one hell of a fight, but he's not a singles guy. He's trying to wrestle singles matches, but he's not a singles guy, and he's not really hurt by this loss. Yeah, I got that, Suzanne. Fuck. Oh, like, when you put it in red, I didn't fucking notice it. But what you tell... Alright. After his name is announced as the victor, Chris Caulfield rises to his feet and goes to Dean McWade, who is still on the ground. Dean put up a greater effort than anyone thought he was capable of, and no one recognized the skill put forward in that match better than Chris Caulfield. Caulfield helps Dean to his feet and puts his hand forward. Dean takes a second before shaking Caulfield's hand. Chris raises Dean's hand, and the two bask in the applause that they are receiving from the Dave faithful. Dean then exits the ring and heads to the back. Chris stays in the ring to celebrate and soak it in a little longer, but the second Chris turns his back to the stage, Doug Peak emerges from the entrance ramp and nails Dallas with a nasty lariat. Caulfield hears Dean's... Did I say Dallas again? Fucking hell. Caulfield hears Dean's body crash into the ground and turns to see what is happening. Chris books it to McWade, but Doug is able to throw Dean off the entrance ramp before Caulfield is able to make the save. Doug rushes backstage, and Chris has a chance to chase after him, but Caulfield instead decides to go check on Dean McWade rather than going after his rival. Before the show can close, our announcers Lee Bambino and MC Motormouth announce that they are getting word from Phil Vibert himself that we will see Doug Peak versus Dean McWade in the main event of next week's show. I hit return to booking screen again. Why do I keep doing that? So, Dean and Doug. Alright. And the show, a 63. Not one of our better shows, but you know what? We're on a roll right now. Anything above 60 is really what I'm aiming for, and we're hitting it every time. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Basically, at the end there, I was trying to showcase that Chris Caulfield really cares more about Dean than his rival. He just has respect for Dean, and he wanted to make sure he was okay rather than settling some pity feud just for it to pick up again next week. So yeah, that was Danger Zone TV number 3. And next week, we have a fully booked card for our go-home show. And let's cut straight to it. Okay, so before we get into the final episode of Danger Zone TV, I just thought, I was like, you know what, I should probably show them what injury, and he's literally going to be okay for the next episode. So, Chris Caulfield is going to work, the pay-per-view he's going to work. I don't think he's booked for next week. I think we have a full card, he's not a member of that. So, yeah, he's going to be hurt for 2 whole days, guys. Yep, so he's still all set for the Extreme Doubleheader. Now, let's get into episode number 4. Alright, boys, we are here for the final episode of Danger Zone TV on this episode 25. Our next episode is going to be both nights of the Extreme Doubleheader. We have a full match card book. We're opening the show with Frantic Ali vs. Marshall Dillon. Then the next match will be the television title match, Bradford Peverill vs. Shady K. And then, and then our main event, Dean McWade versus Doug Peak. I don't see why we shouldn't just get into the show. And here we have another tryout match. I might give Remy Sky another tryout match. He did get a 38. I'm just kind of worried about the backstage problems he's going to have, if he should be considered or not. And him and Ernest Youngman didn't click, so I'll probably give Remy Sky another chance before fully making a decision or not. So, oh my god, I almost fucking forgot again. So last week, on last show, I should say, I forgot to read out all the news. So on last week's show, Busta Cap, this was a backstage incident, by the way, Busta Cap helped create a relaxed atmosphere when he set up a barbecue outside and cooked for everybody. Busta Cap cooked food for everyone. How nice of him. And then news from last week, we had Harrison Hash retired. USPW are finally getting rid of Petr Novak. SWF Elite, the television show, is going back on the air. I think it's going back on the air. I don't know if it ever was canon on the air, but I thought it was, since it was dormant. FCW is signing a bunch of Dave guys to handshake deals. It's not a big problem since they only run one show a month on a Friday, so it literally won't intersect with us. But it's just kind of weird that FCW just all of a sudden signed. I think Knuckles was one of them. Doug Peak? I can't even remember who else. And then the last bit of news from last week was Everest left the business. Thank you, God. And then the news from this week was that Ernest Youngman regained the PSW championship. That's good for him. The more successful he goes anywhere, the better that is for us, because the more he'll go over. Mark Carney is back to being a scumbag, and he did not pay his workers again. So someone quit over that. I'll save that one. Devil's Daughter, I believe one of Tyler's AAA girls. If you don't know my Tyler, I haven't uploaded in a while. So I gained a lot of new subs on the hiatus. So me and my bestie, my Tyler, talk a lot, and he was a huge AAA fan. So anytime anything bad from Angel Athletic Association happens, I will let him know because it'll make him sad. I don't know how much he liked Devil's Daughter, but she is retiring, so there you go. And then the biggest bit of news from the week. This is actually going to affect this show and the pay-per-view, and it's because Akima Brave on a WLW show got injured. He got injured, and he is going to be out of action for 6 days. He can work angles, but he is going to be out of action, and he is going to miss both nights of the pay-per-view. So, on this show, we're going to write him off. So, that is all the news from the past 2 weeks. And now let's get on to the show. We open the show with just an update, 64 rated segment, from Dean McWade. He says he's still hurting from being thrown off the fucking ramp and from his match with Chris Caulfield. But he's going to troop through it, and he is going to still face Doug Peak tonight. Fans are happy about that. And then we get into our opening match, a match that goes 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Frantic Ali got a 50. Marshall Dillon got a 64. Let's go. Him and Tennessee William are a great pairing. That is awesome. This match was supposed to be much shorter, but Shady K can't work that long. Dean and Doug P can't work that long, so I had to cut angle. It always comes down to, oh, you don't have enough wrestling on the show. So I always have to cut angle time and add match time, and it just so happened that this match went like 4 minutes longer than it was supposed to. This was a really dominant victory by Marshall Dillon. So following the match, we cut to the backstage area where MC Motormouth has Tribal Warrior next to him for an interview. And Dave, the way I always imagined it, is that they have announcers, but they aren't there at ringside. We have a ring announcer and a timekeeper that's right there at ringside to like hold the titles and just a place for the fucking ring announcer to sit. But the announcers themselves are just backstage watching on a monitor. So MC Motormouth has Tribal Warrior next to him, and he says, "Well, Tribal, Tennessee William told you to take extensive notes on your opponent this Monday? I guess it was Sunday. I think they're fighting on Sunday, and then if he wins, he faces Tennessee on Monday, so I wrote that wrong. William told you to take extensive notes on your opponent for this Sunday. Now, after seeing him in action, how confident are you that the match is going to... Oh my god, how did I fuck that up? Now, after seeing him in action, how confident are you going into the match in 4 days? Tribal, I am no more or less confident than I was before the match. William thinks that he can intimidate me with his big words and his large bodyguard, but it isn't working. The thing is, Tennessee's forgetting that I worked for USPW for damn near 14 years. And the thing about that company is they have a multitude of wrestlers that are 3 times the size of Marshall Dillon. So Tennessee, if you think I'm not going to kick your bodyguard's ass and then proceed to tear you limb from limb, you are sorely mistaken. Oh, and from the bottom of my heart, I wish you good luck." Kind of throwing his own phrase back at him. That got a 60 nice. We then cut to the hospital where Suzanne Brazel and King Boone are talking to Top Dollar. Top Dollar's like laying on the bed. He's not moving, but he's moving his mouth and he's talking. We can't hear the conversation, but once the three are done talking, Suzanne and Boone exit the room and close the door behind them. Brazel. Well, Pablo certainly knows what he's doing because he's hired one hell of a hitman. The doctors are telling us that Top Dollar will be out of action for at least a year and most likely will need more time on top of that. King Boone takes off his crown and puts it over his heart. He's about to say something, but he can't find the words for it. And he just draws his thumb over his throat and says, "Your belt is mine." We then have Bradford Peveril and Shady K. They both do their entrances. They both get in the ring. They're ready to have the television title match. But before Bradford and Shady can get their match underway, Dave's owner, Phil Vebert, comes out to the ring and says he needs to make an announcement. Phil, I know how badly these two warriors want to get their match underway, so I'll make this quick. On night 2 of the Extreme Doubleheader, there will be a 4-way dance between 4 competitors. Is this night 1 or 2? No, this is supposed to be on night 2. Yeah, I was right. There will be a 4-way dance between 4 competitors that have impressed me as of late. The winner of this 4-way will take on the winner of this match on next week's Danger Zone TV in a television title match. So far, the only person who I have planned for this match is Dean McWade. So the rest of you backstage, start impressing me. Now, without further ado, let's get this title match underway. There is going to be further ado because I got to pre-book it. It keeps telling me that there is, what is it? Oh, I can't pre-book the match because I don't know who's fucking in it. That's right, whatever. It says, I know pre-booking isn't mandatory till I get to a medium size, but I do it just so I know which matches I have and haven't pre-booked. So that got a 61. The match itself, we know that Shady K and Bradford Peveril weren't going to have a great match because they don't click. But still, a 44 is not thin to scoff at. And despite what I bet a lot of you guys thought, Bradford Peveril did not win the championship. He lost to Shady K with the K-Killer. Shady K makes defense number 6 of his title. Bradford did not win. He is just not ready for the championship. I know the performance is in the ring, but the story is that Bradford has more to learn. We then have another damn brawl. Once Shady K finish up his celebration, we swiftly cut to the backstage area and see another brawl underway between Acid and Java and the Dirty White Boys. Once again, Proud Pride came out, but this time, they aren't playing favorites. Last time they were like, intentionally making sure Java and Acid stopped fighting, and then Greasehog and Lead Belly just kind of stopped on their own. This time, they aren't playing favorites. And all Brown Pride are trying to do is break up the brawl, but because Greasehog and Lead Belly aren't being catered to, this pisses them off to the point where Greasehog socks Latino Fear right across the face. This causes Brown Pride to give up and just join in on the brawl, and then eventually we hear someone yell the word enough at the top of their lungs. It is revealed to be Phil Vibert instructing his employees to quit fighting, and once the scene calms down, Vibert begins to speak. Phil, I get it, boys. You are all hungry. Ever since we made Danger Zone TV 1 hour for budgetary reasons, that's the storyline reason. The real reason is that I didn't want to blow through all my matches. We're not losing money by booking less. For budgetary reasons, you have been getting less opportunities to get yourselves over. So here's how we're going to settle it. On night 1 of the Extreme Doubleheader, we will have a 3-way first to a fall tornado tag match that whichever team wins will then fight for the Lords of the Ring Championships the following night. Now, if I were you, I'd quit fighting and preserve myself for this match. So now we have pre-booking to do. So as you can see, I got rid of the tag match because we can't fucking run it. Alright, so it is Brown Pride versus Acid and Java. They're gonna be called the Outcast. This is gonna get revealed on the fucking. It's not an earth-shattering reveal, so who cares? But it's just gonna be next show is the first time they'll be announced as the Outcasts and the Dirty White Boys. Pre-book that. Let's continue the promo. The 3 teams agree with Phil and all walk in opposite directions. But before Phil can walk off himself, he is stopped by none other than Busta Cap. Busta Cap. Phil, I heard what you said before the TV title match tonight, and I'm here to throw my name in the cap, wink, for this #1 contenders match. I've been winning more and more of my matches as of late, and I feel that this would be a good chance to show you that I am ready for some Dave Gold. Phil, I agree with you, Busta, to an extent. You have been winning more of your matches recently, but I've noticed you have been losing when it really counts. While you're winning against lesser opponents, you have been losing against the bigger names like Bradford Peveril and Tribal Warrior. So I'll give you this. Frantic Ali's stats have been impressing me as of late, and while Ali has been about average here on Dave, I looked over the numbers and he has only lost 1 match on any IPW show in 2020. So it'll be you versus Frantic Ali on night 1, and whoever wins will be added to the Fatal 4-Way on night 2. We end the promo with Busta Cap telling Phil, I won't let you down, boss. So there we go. Frantic Ali, Busta Cap. That's pre-booked. So we were basically supposed to have the full card pre-booked, but we had to get rid of the tag title match. So other than that, we're all set. That's the full show for night 1. And things that are going to happen on night... I should probably keep this up. Things that are going to happen on night 1 are going to lead to matches on night 2, as you can tell. So obviously we have that 4-way match that I can't pre-book yet. That's going to lead to a match on night 2. So yeah, without spoiling anything else, this is essentially all we've got. We then get a short promo by Gravedigger and Mobstar. They get a 41 rated promo, and they are pissed at the Bible Bashers for what they did to their friend Top Dollar, and they challenge Ernest Youngman and Knuckles for the pay-per-view. I forgot okay. We do have more matches on this show to pre-book. So it'll be Ernest Youngman, Knuckles versus Dead Men Walking. That is pre-booked for night 2. Yes, there we go, Flex. Flex getting that 85, baby. So this was originally just supposed to be a generic oh, it's a hype promo where both teams are cutting promos on the other one, and it's a video package that plays. But instead, what we've got is we have Flex Garcia and Pex Jimenez have a crowbar, and they find Akima Brave backstage, and they just go to absolute town on this man's knee. They go to town for about 3 minutes. Just straight attacks to the knees. Eventually, Frankie Perez does get there. Flex and Pex drop the pipes, and they walk back. And they're just like, good luck, guys. Can't wait to see you on Sunday. Our main event, 55. Doug Peak, Dean McWade, 14 minutes, 40 seconds. Doug Peak is able to beat Dean McWade. And Dean, in this match, convinces a few people that, well, if he wasn't thrown off the stage and he didn't have a grueling match last week, maybe Dean McWade could have put away Doug Peak, but since he had, some odds stacked against him, it was really a no way he was going to win this match. So that gets a 55, and we end the show with Doug Peak. He tries to finish off Dean. I wrote Dallas. How did I fucking... Alright. He tries to finish off Dean. He's got a table. He's going to put Dean through the table with the House of Horrors. I don't even know what the House of Horrors is. Probably like a spine buster or something. But we end the show. We end the go-home show with Chris Caulfield running in for the save with a barbed wire 2x4. He gets one good hit right across the stomach before Doug Peak rolls out, and Chris Caulfield stands tall holding the barbed wire 2x4 above his head in celebration. And that is how we end Danger Zone TV 66. We went 4 for 4 today. 4 for 4 of getting shows over 60 in the overall rating. So that was pretty cool. Let me know what you guys think of this new format for these episodes. Do you think it's going to make the episodes too long? Do you think I'm rushing too much? If you have a better idea, please tell me in the comments. I'd like to try out new formats, but I just can't go back to going one episode of Danger Zone TV per episode of the Rebirth of Dave. I want to get through series in a decent amount of time. I want to get through a few years of Dave before officially ending the series. So, there we go. I hope you guys are excited. Let me actually, on my phone, pull up the full match card, just in case, just to fully run it down. So, here we go. On night 1, so far we have announced Bust-A-Cap versus Frantic Ali. Winner gets added to the TV title #1 contenders match. A tag #1 contenders match where the winner will face the tag champs on night 2. Brown Pride versus the Dirty White Boys versus the Outcasts. Marshall Dillon versus Tribal Warrior, where if Tribal Warrior wins, he faces Tennessee William tomorrow or on night 2. As of right now, technically, the Lords of the Ring Championships, Flex and Pex versus the Defenders, is still on. But we will need to see how that unfolds. Chris Caulfield will take on Doug Peak. And in the main event, Dave World Championship, King Boone versus Pablo Rodriguez. For night 2, what we have announced is Dead Men Walking versus the Bible Bashers. I typoed there. Like I said, anytime there's a typo, my brain just gets thrown off for a second. The #1 contenders match for the television title, the 4-way dance, which is a elimination match. We have so far Dean McWade announced, and then the winner of Bust-A-Cap and Frantic Ali. We will need to find out who the other two are going to be. We will have a Lords of the Ring Championship match. Flex and Pex or the Defenders versus the winner of the 3-way. We might see Tennessee William versus Tribal Warrior. And that's everything we have announced. So there we go. I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope to see you for the pay-per-view, which is the next episode of Dave, which is episode 26? I think it's 26. It's going to be both nights of the pay-per-view, by the way. I said that like 5 times, but, there we go. Was there anything? Jazz booked up. Robbie right to stay. Who cares? The show was awesome. All right. See you guys then.